Good afternoon and good evening to you all, guys. Welcome again to the Full 100. It is the last episode of the week, by the way. It's a beautiful Friday today. Can't wait for the weekend. Hope you've all had a good week, guys. Today's show is tackling the murder of the young lady in the UK who was kidnapped. For those of you outside the UK, many watch my videos from outside the UK. A young lady on her way home from a friend's house, kidnapped off the street, found killed and murdered, and the suspect is a serving police officer. Also arrested in the crime is the police officer's wife. So this is serious stuff. The reason I'm doing this show, we don't often get these kind of murders, obviously. So obviously it's news and it's important. It's a young lady, 33 years old. But more importantly, the reason I'm doing the show is to bring attention to the coverage by the press, the so-called non-racist press, around this whole topic, and how different the coverage would probably have been. Not probably, how different definitely the coverage would have been had this young lady, had the perpetrator been someone of color, for example, or if the perpetrator had been an ex-convict, black or white. Because if it was an ex-convict, we know what the press would be saying at this point. Why did they give it? Why did they let him out? Why didn't they lock him up? See, they let him out and look what he's done. And if it's someone of color, oh my God, the country will be so irate right now. How dare someone of color kill this young lady? However, a serving police officer, a diplomatic corps officer, so he's in the diplomatic service unit, if you like, protecting the American embassy, none other. So from American friends who see this, one of our police officers who was protecting your embassy turns out to be a rapist, kidnapper, and a body burier. And it turns out he actually flashed in a restaurant 3 days before. So guys, without further ado, let's delve into this terrible story. So without further ado, guys, let's get down to today's show. It's quite a sad one. Guys, her name is Sarah Everard, 33 years old. Her body was found this week. She went missing last week. It turns out, guys, that the police officer who killed and murdered her, kidnapped and murdered her, it turns out 3 days before that, he went into a takeaway restaurant and flashed, took his clothes off. For those outside the UK who don't know what flash is, he flashed, he exposed himself. Now, tell me something, people. The police attended this incident. They arrested this guy and they let him off. They let him off. He wasn't even suspended from his police duties. Now, let me ask my viewers. We know flashers, right? We've heard of flashers, not know them. I don't know any flashers. But we've heard of flashers who go outside a woman's window and expose themselves. They go outside of a shop, expose themselves and run off. This guy walked into a shop and exposed himself. Then 3 days later, kidnaps a 33-year-old. He's a 46 or 47-year-old. Tell me something. Do you think this is the first time this person has done this? And I can't see any newspapers asking that question because he's a police officer, maybe? If you or I had done this, the questions will be in the newspapers everywhere. Has he done this before? Police are now looking into any similar offences in the area. We ain't heard none of that. They won't even want to go there because I don't think they'd want to find out if he's done it before. Then it makes them look bad. They won't care about those victims if he has done this before. So guys, I've got a series of videos to break up what I'm trying to say, right? So take a look at my first video, which tells you a little bit about the body being found and everything else. I'm sure some of you have seen this. For those who haven't, always when you come to my channel, I put it in a perspective that you won't see on the television. So please guys, take a look at this first video and I'll see you on the other side.
Police investigating the disappearance of Sarah Everard in South London have found human remains in woods in Kent.
The 33-year-old has been missing since last week. A serving police officer is being questioned on suspicion of her kidnap and murder.
All along the route Sarah took from Clapham Common over a week ago, posters bearing her image are stuck to every lamppost and bus stop, appealing for information. But yesterday evening, police search teams investigating Sarah's disappearance discovered what appears to be human remains in woodland in Ashford, Kent. Officers also searched this house in Deal, Kent. Cars were taken away. It's believed to be the home of a serving police officer. He's been arrested on suspicion of Sarah's kidnap and murder, and over a separate allegation of indecent exposure. The officer in his 40s was responsible for guarding diplomatic buildings. He was not on duty on the night Sarah disappeared. A woman in her 30s was also arrested on suspicion of assisting an offender.
Guys, that pig's name, and I don't mean pig as in police. Obviously people call police pigs. I mean pig as in a horrible human being. His name is Wayne Couzens. Take a look at a couple of photos of him. Guys, did you notice during that report they said nothing about flooding his area where he lives with police? We watch these investigations all the time. If that was a normal bod, right now they'll be knocking on his contacts, his family, his friends. What did you know? Did he say anything to you? All of this stuff. And they say it to the press so that people understand how heavy they're going in on this thing. It's been silent. Silent. Take a look at my next video now, guys, right? This is Jack the Ripper stuff. This is what I'm saying, guys. You see, normally when police officers, when you've heard of police officers raping and or raping and murdering female victims, normally they pull them up in their uniform. They're in a cop car. They pull them up on a little quiet area, kill them, and then do what they do. This guy did it on an off day. He didn't need to disguise. Listen, this guy, you heard it here first. This guy has done it before. I promise you. And yet no one's saying nothing in the press. Take a look at my next video, guys.
Sarah, a marketing executive, had been at her friend's house on Leithwaite Road, close to Clapham Common. She left there at around 9 in the evening to return to her home in Brixton, about 50 minutes walk away. Police believe she made her way across Clapham Common. This footage showed Sarah on Poinders Road, part of London's South Circular Road, at around 9:30. It's the last time she was seen.
Welcome back, guys. 1000% this guy's done it before. 1000%. And the scary thing is, he's a police officer. He's got a wife who's married to a police officer who's meant to be held to the highest standards, superhuman standards. And his wife connived with him, knowing what he'd done. He's done it before, mate. Guys, I'm telling you right now, he's done it before. There is no way you're going to go from flashing to kidnap, know how to kidnap, put someone in the car, kill them, rape them, bury them, and go about your business. That's not something you learn in 3 days. That's something you hit and miss. And normally, they get caught while they're doing that and get better at it. So they've made a mistake, they get caught. They make another mistake, they get caught. But while they're in prison, they learn, and then the next time, they come and they do it better. This guy cannot just go from good guy police officer to flasher to a murderer and kidnapper, Jack the Ripper style, in 3 days. Get the hell out of here. Take a look at this next video, guys.
Just 3 days before Sarah disappeared, police received a report alleging the suspect had exposed himself in a fast food restaurant. Now the police watchdog has announced it will investigate whether officers responded to that appropriately. It will also separately assess the actions of police after Sarah was reported missing.
The force has referred itself to the police watchdog over how it investigated a separate allegation that the same officer indecently exposed himself just 3 days before Sarah went missing.
Welcome back, guys. You see, this show, the title of this show is really, welcome to not just white privilege, but also officer privilege. We're watching in real time. We saw on the 6th of January in America what white privilege looks like when they want to go on the destruction path. Just like they allow them to burn down the black city in Oklahoma. I can't remember the name just escaped me. Near Tulsa. Just like they when they go on, just like we see them here, when Black Lives Matter are marching and the EDO want to come out, the police protect them and they let them come out even though they know there's going to be conflict. They're one of their own. What we're watching right here is what we saw on January the 6th, where white supremacists were allowed to come into the Capitol, destroy and put up a noose, set up a gallows outside of Parliament. And they got escorted home. Like, you know, like you get escorted after a football match. That's how they walk them home. We saw that with our very two eyes. What you're watching right now, guys, and keep an eye on it, is the same white privilege, but there's an extra layer of that. And I'm identifying it for the first time today, and it's called cop privilege. Whether it's one of these terrorists who blows themselves up, or whether it's a killer, like the Byfields, Leroy Byfield, or whatever his name is, those sorts of people, you see the investigation and what they do. They are not doing any of that, and I'm pointing that out. I didn't want to do a show like this without paying respect to Sarah Everard. She's a 33-year-old girl. She's only 3 years older than my own daughter. She was just starting life. And I want to dedicate this show to her, to her memory. And I hope her friends and family get through this. To that effect, what I've decided to do is to air my last video, be the words from her friends and family describing what a great personality she was. So take a look at this 30-second video about who Sarah was. And and I'll see you on the other side to say my goodbyes.
Bright and beautiful, a wonderful daughter and sister. Words from the family of 33-year-old Sarah Everard, who went missing in South London more than a week ago. Last night, her loved ones released this tribute after human remains were discovered in the search for her. She was kind and thoughtful, caring and dependable. She always put others first and had the most amazing sense of humour. She was strong and principled, and a shining example to us all.
Welcome back, guys. We're at the end of the show now. I want to say a few words, guys, though. See, it's not every time when we see the police do what they do that people point fingers and say, that's not fair, that's not right, or whatever. If someone blows up themselves or murders 4, 5, 6 people on a terrorist rampage in the city of London, and it comes from Leeds, you expect them to go to Leeds, to the area. So when we see them swarm the guy's neighborhoods, no one's crying out, what are you doing, why are you doing that, you're being racist or whatever. No one's doing that. You see, where we have a problem is where there's disparity in treatment. When they came out strong on BLM, on Black Lives Matter over the summer, yeah, we thought they were heavy-handed, but we learned to deal with it. It's when they don't come out in the same force, when they see white supremacists on the rampage, that's when we have an issue. We don't have an issue when police shoot someone who's about to shoot them or is shooting at them. We get that because we know the police will probably do the same thing no matter what color you are. We're cool with that. It's when we see a white guy fight 7 officers in a courtroom, all had guns, and the white guy takes the gun. If the white guy takes one gun out of one police officer's side holster, tries to fire it off, he's then subdued, and he gets to walk home. That's when we have an issue, because we know how many black people get killed without even saying a word to them. Just, what did I do wrong? And they're dead. Or they try to put their hand up and they're dead. This is when we have an issue. I'm calling this show, cop privilege laid on top of white privilege, because that's what we're seeing. Guys, look, that's the end of the show. Please hit the subscribe button. I want to thank all of my subscribers. I've had quite a few in the last few days, so I want to thank you all who's supporting me. Keep up the support. 2 more things I need to ask you guys to do. 1 is share, and 2 is like. So from now on, you're going to see me start talking about sharing and liking as well as subscribing. It's all part of what I'm being told I have to do. So listen, it gets the message out at the end of the day. That's why we're here. We're not here doing this for only 2 people to watch it. We're here doing this so as many people as possible can get to see it. So guys, listen, enjoy your weekends. Have a fabulous weekend. And I'll see you all on Monday for my next installment. Take care. Hit subscribe, share, and like. And I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.